If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off about the same mistakes. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
Yo, guys, it's Old Man G here, back again with another preview for Red Devil Studio. And we're back. We are back. Manchester United versus Brighton. Shout out to Bits and Bobs and Kobe in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. But remember, guys, if you're new to the channel, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, we are to X, and smash the notification button for the latest Manchester United news. So, yes, we're back. We are back. It's Manchester United against Brighton. Obviously, some interesting results. Very interesting today. Manchester United wanted to really secure, to be honest, second point. Let's be real. Manchester City have got the win. They won the Premier League. Leicester City lost to City today. Chelsea got lubricated, destroyed, circumcised by West Bromwich Albion at home, conceding 5 goals. And yet I'm told that Werner is better than Rashford. It is what it is. And United have a good chance to really solidify that second position, basically. And to be clear, and as I said, and I said before with the season was out, I said that if United beat Brighton, I'm fairly confident of top 4, and I think that our attention should focus towards trying to get a trophy in the last competition we have, which is the Europa League. That's how I thought it should be, because a win against Brighton effectively puts us 9 points clear of Chelsea in 4th place. Depending on what happens to West Ham, so I'm fairly confident going forward. Yeah, like I said, shout out, bro. Red Devil Lab watching on Twitch, man. Shout out to you, bro. Kobe also bangers Chelsea, looking fresh. Yeah, bro, man. I needed a haircut and I got one. Thank goodness, So I've been looking like, I apologize for my lack of presentation in the previous videos. I've been looking like a trash, but actually I'm coming up with something good, so it's pretty cool. So thanks for noticing, man. Red Devil, massive opportunity for us here. Just makes me think we will blow it. Those who are watching, subscribe to Red Devil Weekly and Bits and Bob's channel as well. They post a lot of very, very good content. The thing is, there isn't really any pressure, to be honest, because if we lose, nothing has really changed. Because if we lose, we're still going to be second place. So I think that we'll probably still win and get the dub, because I just don't think there's a lot of pressure really on this game, because regardless of what happens, whether we win, lose, or draw tomorrow, we're going to be second place. I think all this really does, I said with Brighton, is just secure second. And I think as far as top 4 is concerned, I'm done, because when you look at the likes of what Chelsea and some of the other teams have in terms of their fixtures running up, it's a lot. It's a lot worse, in my opinion. Box in a shout, Eden Red Del 2, thank you so much for joining the chat. So this here is obviously what I think my starting 11 is going to be. So I just guess before I go into that, really when it just comes to an injury update for this upcoming team, really all we know from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference is that Anthony Martial looks like a doubt. Possibly Victor Lindelof, although I'm sure Ole's going to find some way. He'll find some way of trying to incorporate this dude into the team, even though I think he should start Bailly, and that's why I put Bailly here, because Lindelof, as you know, has had a recurring back injury, and that's a bit annoying. Red Lab said, "What's Spock Nation?" I'm not sure. I'm generally not sure. I know I joined the team, but I barely done it, to be honest. But yeah, it's a team apparently. It's a team. Remember to like the vid, guys. Like the vid. So yeah, as far as injuries go, really, it's only Martial and Lindelof of note. And I still think Lindelof is probably going to be fine. So really, it's Martial. Greenwood and Rashford have gone back to light training. I think they should be fit and ready to go. I would suspect that well, and obviously, just as no, Phil Jones is also still injured, but you know. What do you say to what do you in fact, before I go into it, what do you do with Phil Jones at Manchester United? Because you have a player who realistically has no future at Manchester United, keeps on getting injury prone, and is on, I think, somewhere between 70 to 100k a week. Let me know in the comments, what exactly do you do with Phil Jones? Because for life of me, I generally don't know what you do with this player. And his wages, amongst the wages of other players, are really causes problems. We need to ship him away. There's no point in us having tons of defenders. He needs to leave. I don't know how he leaves. I don't know when his contract even expires, but he definitely needs to get away from this club. Kobe says, hopefully Fred doesn't have a stinker. I hope not too, buddy. I mean, let's go. In fact, let's go on to the combined 11. That's the Red Devil says that's the line I would go with. So much firepower in there against Brighton. I mean, Brighton are, the thing about Brighton is that what I would say about Brighton is that they are not going to sit back and sit deep like other teams. Like Graham Potter, I think, is actually a solid coach, especially because he banters Arsenal from time to time. But he's actually a very solid coach, and he likes to play a lot more progressive and attacking football. So I think that, it's really simple. I think we just need to be tight. If we're tight and we hit them on the break, we'll be fine in this game. And we'll have a lot more space, which is why I suspect that maybe Daniel James might come in instead of Mason Greenwood, but I put Greenwood there. I think that when you look at I think the predicted lineup, I think De Gea will come back in goal for Dean Henderson. I'd be very surprised. I think they'll go back to the whole Henderson Europa League or Cup games and De Gea back. If Henderson is in goal instead of De Gea, then I think that has huge implications for the summer regarding the keeper situation. Because I suspect that I don't think you can have De Gea and Henderson going into next season fighting for number one. One of them is going to decide to want to go. And we need to think about which one that is, because none of them, I think, are going to be happy being second choice. And Henderson certainly doesn't look like he's being second choice. You're then going to have, obviously, Luke Shaw's going to be back on the left, and he's been doing a very good job. Teller's obviously coming out with a few comments about giving his all, trying his best. But let's be real, Luke Shaw's been really good. Luke Shaw has been really, really, really good. And can you really blame him? To be honest, Luke Shaw, he's. I argue this has probably been one of, if not his best season for Manchester United since he arrived at the club. In my personal opinion, he looks like the Luke Shaw that we actually needed to get from so long. So for me, Luke Shaw's obviously going to be on the left. Give him a statue. Can't believe people call Phil Jones. I don't know who called that. Duncan Ferguson is anyway. Daniel James should play instead of Rashford. Why? On the left? Really? I mean, Rashford does. I mean, what I would say is that the Granada game is more important. And whatever you say, although I expect us to beat Granada, we don't want to go and risk players. And so if Rashford is not fit to play against Brighton, then yes, you rest him. You play Ahmad, you play Daniel James, you play them because, as I said at the beginning of this is not a must-win game. This is not we're not going to win the title, and if whether we win, lose, or draw this game, we're still going to be second. So this is not a must-win game. It's just a game to solidify an advantage that we already have in second place. So the Granada game for me is more of a must-win game, because I want us to put the tie to bed early on so we can just rest players. So for me, if Rashford and Greenwood and a few players aren't fit, you rest them. Try and get a good positive result against Brighton. If not, no big deal. Play them against Granada so we can get a good dub win. That's my 2 cents. Spain have made the choice to go with Simone as number 1. We should do the same. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Hi, Devil. Fred start. I'm certain we lose now. No, you could. If Pogba, I think the key is going to be whether Pogba plays in the midfield. If Pogba plays in the midfield and we have Fred Pro, that's midfield 3 that I think should go, then I think that's how we should go about it. But you could play Matic there, but to be honest, I think Matic has not really been good. He's just not been that great. He's really not been that great this season. I think Matic is one of the players. I think Matic and Mata players that I think have to probably somehow be moved on from the club in the summer, just solely because Mata. Where is Mata? Mata's been injured for goodness knows how long. I don't know when he's going to come back. So I think he needs to go. I also think that that Matic needs to go. They're just too old at the highest level right now. And Phil Jones. If we can get those 3 moved on from the club whilst trying to make in signings, I think that'd be great, in my opinion. Obviously, the front 3 of Rashford, Fernandes, and Greenwood. I'm not sure how Fernandes still has legs in him, to be honest, because he's been playing pretty much every single game since we had. So Fernandes, I think, will come in the number 10 cam role. Greenwood, I think, will, to be honest, Greenwood's actually doing a pretty good job as a hold-up number 9 striker. He was actually probably arguably our best player against Leicester City, and he scored the goal, getting into position. But Cavani obviously is going to be back. I think Cavani comes in. I think that what you can do with obviously Greenwood on the pitch is that you can have a scenario where if Cavani does play 60 minutes because he's coming back from injury, you can take Cavani off after 60 minutes and then put Greenwood through the centre and then maybe bring on a Daniel James or an Ahmad to basically follow. In fact, I would bring on Ahmad instead because I really want to see Ahmad play. And I'm a bit tired of seeing. I'm not tired. I don't hate Daniel James. I generally do not hate Daniel James, but I would rather just see us give more game time. The way I see it is that we spent 37 million on Ahmad from Atalanta. That's a lot of money for him to. Same thing with Van der Beek. We spent 30 something. So we spent 70 million on 2 players who basically barely get any game time. And yet we spent the equivalent of 50 million on a player from Leeds, the Championship. One played for Ajax, one played for Atalanta, and we played 50 million. I think it was playing for Leeds at the time, the Championship with Daniel James. And he gets more game time. That doesn't make sense to me, So, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Box says, I start Henderson and McTominay instead of De Gea and Fred. I generally don't think that he's going to play. He's going to drop De Gea. I think he'll play Henderson. You could probably play McTominay and Pogba together. I wouldn't be as surprised to that. I think that if you played McTominay and Pogba and Fernandes together, I think that would be okay. Although I think that if you did that, because McTominay generally likes to go forward a lot, I think what you'll find is that Pogba won't be as advanced as he would normally be. I think that's what you'd find. I think Fred will have a great game if he plays. He's had a decent rest. I think he's playing too many games. And that is a thing that people forget. And I try to sort of defend Fred and Maguire and Fred, Maguire, and Bruno, when they have bad games, is that these three players are the three players. You could probably put in Wan-Bissaka into it as well. They've pretty much played almost every single game for Manchester United this season, including cup games. They barely got rest. So, it should be expected that they will have a bad game or have a few errors sometimes when they barely had any rest. And I just don't think that's we need to bear that in mind, is what I'm saying. Not a must-win, Simon, but a win we should get. Yeah, I agree, exactly. So for me, getting the dub is fine. It's just what I would say is that I think the Granada game is more important, and I'd rather us not risk players who are just coming back from injury, who are not fit in this game, when we could give them a few days rest, a few days light training to play against Granada on Thursday. Because the worst possible case scenario is that we win this game, which would be, great, but then Cavani's injured again, Pogba's injured again, Rashford's injured again. The Europa League for me, I want to win this end of season with a trophy. I don't care even if we come third. I'd rather us come third and have a Europa League trophy than come second with nothing. So for me right now, I'm in a space where the Europa League and win the Europa League is the priority, even though I think Arsenal are favourites. Reverse Juju. We need to avoid conceding set piece the amount of threats they have. It's true. I think Kieran has forgotten he has a stream. Yeah, no, I think Kieran's stream has just started, actually. I think he's just started. So head over to Kieran's stream as well. I think Ahmad is 50 million plus 20 million in add-ons. Was it? I thought he was 35 in total, but maybe you're right. I wonder if those 20 million add-ons include playing time. Maybe that's why he's not playing. Hoping Maguire can get some confidence from the goal he scored. Well, big up to Captain Maguire for scoring against England. We'll see what happens, and fingers crossed he'll come through. That's all we can say, really. Cavani's obviously going to start on top, I would suspect. I'm assuming most people will agree with this team. I think this team is definitely good enough to beat Brighton. They've got a few key players injured, although the Basuma guy, who they have as a DM, I'm a great admirer of Basuma. I think if you told me, right, we're going to let Matic go, for example, this summer, and you're going to bring in someone like Basuma in as a Matic replacement, then for me, you're talking. Because suddenly, if you're putting Basuma and Pogba together in the midfield, then you're thinking, right, okay, we can go. So I'm an admirer of Basuma, and I think he's going to cause our midfield a few problems, and I would like for us to sign him. As a DM, I'd love if we signed him. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. I think it probably won't happen because we're not linked with as far as we're any midfielder right now. So it is what it is. Right. So just to round things off, just a quick score prediction. Let me know what your score predictions are in the comments, guys. Let me know what your score predictions are. Remember to like the vid, subscribe if you're new, share the vid. It goes a long way. How by the way, what are your guys' thoughts on the new graphics, the banner, the avatar, and even the intro coming in? So I'm trying to spice up a few things for the channel, and also hopefully going forward, and I'll obviously repeat this in a lot of streams, that I'm going to be covering a lot more non-Manchester United football channels and content and stuff like that as well, via FIFA, etc. So there's going to be a lot more content, hopefully, on the channel. Certainly, halfway through the year, after June, etc., there'll be a lot more content, but it's going to be a lot more non-Manchester United content. We are going to have Manchester United content, but there's going to be a lot more non-Manchester United content as well. And I think I'll probably start more so from next season going forward. There'll be a lot more non-Manchester United fan going forward. So Kobe says 3-1 to Manchester United. I think if Bailly starts, someone said, Mo says Jota Jota scored for Liverpool. Jota scored for Liverpool, which is banter. It's banter for Arsenal because let's have a look. Let me have a look at that table. Where's Arsenal are 9th still, somehow 11 points with Leeds. For now, anyway, until Villa play, so they probably might go back down to 10th. Liverpool are 5th. And it's going to make that. And I think, and see, this is the reason why this is the reason why getting the win against Brighton is a bit of a safety sort of net, because it does put us 9 points clear of Chelsea, but also that fourth place race is looking interesting now. You now have West Ham, Liverpool, and Chelsea all vying for it, you know, I don't want to be dragged back into it. And I think if we beat Brighton, I think we're fairly. I would be very surprised with with 8 games to go, if we beat Brighton with about 8 games to go, that we were somehow to drop out top 4 and to seed 9, not even 9. I think we're, how many points we had of Liverpool now if they win? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, more than that. If we win, we'll be 11 points. Yeah. So if we win against Brighton and Liverpool win, we're going to be 11 points clear of Liverpool. So I'm highly doubt that in 8 games, United were to drop 11 points. It's possible, but it's unlikely. Not with the fixtures that we have left to go on. I'd be surprised. So we've got top 4, and certainly sure if we beat Brighton. Right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, if you're new to the channel, to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Match reaction will be coming obviously after the game. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.